Yes, yes, this is Mr. Controversy, and this is the infamous three-point conversion station. Keep it locked.
The 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge.
Good morning, everybody. What another beautiful Saturday morning. It's another great day for sports. It's nice outside. I think it's going to be in the 70s, 74 in Atlanta. Man, it's a beautiful, nice spring day, man. This is a great day for some NCAA tournament. Like I said, this is the perfect weather for March Madness. But anyway, you've entered inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge, and I am your host, Mr. Controversy. Did you miss me? We have a great show today. We're going to have some fun today, man. Like I said, we're talking NCAA tournament, March Madness. So much to get into with that. So much. And we have special guest, Deshaun Tate, coming in from 92.9 A Game. He's not even a guest, man. That's family right there. You know, he's always coming and giving us that knowledge. Also, we have Battlegrounds today, the playoff semifinals with Allen Fields going up against Danny Thompson. It's going to be a great battle. I need your votes. Make sure you tune in. Then also, we have a special guest is coming in, and she's inside the studio. And Miss Dashina Davis from
Quick Out the Blocks.
She would have hit me if I'd have got it wrong, but Quick Out the Blocks. And it's going to be a special treat, man. We're going to talk women in sports. We're going to talk basketball, football. We're talking all of it. She's going to be here for that. And then I got my man G. What up, G?
Yo.
He always trying to be modest when he come in the radio. But anyway, you can call in at 404-603-8770. Once again, that's 404-603-8770 to give you 3 cents. And there's so much to get into with these quick hits, man. Let's get it. Shout out to Sherm Beats for the music. All right, so first we're going to start off with Golden State Warriors played the Atlanta Hawks last night, right? Our Atlanta Hawks. When I say Atlanta, I'm speaking of being in Atlanta. And they lost, of course. But what came out of this game was Steph Curry got injured once again. Yep, got injured once again. JaVale McGee, if anybody, of course, it's going to be JaVale McGee. This joker going after a block. And they're in the paint. And I think the referee even blew the whistle, like the play stopped. This joker's still trying to go for the block. And when he went up, he tripped over his own player. He landed on his own player, fell down, and his elbow came and hit Steph in the knee. Now they're saying it's an MCL sprain. Man, this was his first game back from the ankle injury. And remember, he got injured beforehand off of Jaja when Jaja landed, which is ironic because that was against Atlanta here in Atlanta when he injured his ankle and Jaja landed on his and he stepped on Jaja's foot. And then today, or last night, I'm sorry, JaVale McGee injured Steph Curry. So I guess it might get real. They're having an MRI on Monday, and he was limping around. He said he was good, but still, man, like everybody's injured with the Warriors. I'm not lying. I thought it was like maybe Steve Kerr. I said it last week. They're trying to rest, and he's finding out creative ways to rest his guys. They might be hurt, but they probably could play. But when you see something like this, it was scary. He limped off, and it's like, man, I don't know. So let's pray for the Warriors, unless you're not a Warriors fan. Moving on. The San Francisco Giants ace pitcher Madison Bumgarner will be sidelined for at least 9 weeks with a broken bone in his pitching hand. And this is after he got, I guess, what's the word they use in baseball when the line drive hit him?
Oh, you just got hit by a line drive.
Just a line drive? Okay. He got, it was a line drive and hit him in his hand. You know how he is. He's real tough. He's that tough guy that, he shook it off. But when the doctors came this time, instead of waving him off, he went to the sidelines or went to the dugout, and sure enough, he has a broken bone. Tough, man. That's like, this was the last start for him, or you should say tune-up for his start. He's starting opening day, and this happens. And then the crazy thing is, Jeff Samardzija, the pitcher for the San Francisco Giants, he's having an MRI on his shoulder. Wow. So, man, tough. Moving on. Canelo Alvarez will be temporarily suspended by the Nevada State Athletic Commission due to his failed positive test for the banned substances he took, or the substance he took. It's called clenbuterol. And this is his second time doing it. And it now puts his fight with Triple G in jeopardy. I was supposed to be on Cinco de Mayo. They can't do this. They can't do it. Like, I know he's in trouble, G, but I'm just saying, I know G looking at me like, why not? Bruh, not.
I mean, if you're saying they can't have this fight, I agree.
No, I'm just saying, man.
Like
so what we gonna do for Cinco de Mayo? What we gonna do?
Floyd need to speed up his MMA training.
I'm not even feeling that.
You saying he gonna what?
Floyd needs to step up his MMA training so we can get a fight on
No,
Cinco de
you
Mayo.
can't. You can't do that.
There's going to be a fight on Cinco de Mayo. It might not be the one we want, but there'll be one.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see, man. But anyway, like I said, we'll see what happens. Kind of crazy that this is all going on. So let's see. But anyway, moving on. Now listen to this story. This is crazy right here. So the Philadelphia Eagles defensive end Michael Bennett you remember that incident when he was in at the Super Bowl? I don't know if it was the same Super Bowl or not. I think it was when the police took him down.
Oh no, that was in Vegas for the Mayweather-McGregor fight.
Oh, that was for the fight. Okay, for the fight. That's right. So that was for the fight. So what's crazy is, and remember we talked about the police and how they did them bogus, whatever. So now, not this past year's Super Bowl, but the Super Bowl before last, when New England Patriots won, and his brother Martellus Bennett won a Super Bowl ring. He decides I'm going on the field. This is my brother. We won. I guess he was the first one to pull the Kevin Hart. I guess Kevin Hart was pulling the Michael Bennett. But anyway, Michael Bennett goes in. He's trying to get on the field. It's a 66-year-old lady, security lady, and she's paraplegic. And she told him, no, you can't get on the field. So allegedly, Michael Bennett went and was like, whatever, I'm going to get on the field. Anyway, shoves her. She falls down and sprains her shoulder, and he goes on the field. So now he's surrendering. And they're saying he could face up to 10 years. We don't know what's going to happen. Like I said, it's allegedly. We don't know. But, like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is crazy. Now, if this is true or not, I don't know. I mean, like I said, maybe Kevin Hart got this from Michael Bennett and decided he could do it also. I don't know. But like I said, this is kind of a bizarre story. Like when I first saw it, I'm just like, man, like it's just hard to believe, man. I'm not saying he didn't do it, but it's hard to believe to see this six guy, 6'5", 8, whatever he is, big joker, and he mess around and push her and shove her. I can't.
Well, yeah, the incident, like they told him he had to go a different way to get on the field. He's like, no, I'm going to go this way.
Yeah, and he shoved her. I can't.
It was some other people that he may have gotten in contact with, but the focus is going to be on this elderly woman.
And I'm wondering, because that's what they're saying, is that he shoved her. I'm wondering if he shoved some other people, and it's still wrong, and he knocked her down. You know what I'm saying? Like, she caught the brunt of it, but...
And the charge, if you injure an elderly person over the age of 65, he's 66.
Just made it.
That's what would make it carry up to 10 years in prison.
Right. That's crazy, man. So like I said, we'll see what happens. Hopefully that is not true.
The league is, quote unquote, looking into it. So we'll see what comes
Forget the league. The police. Who else? Everybody's looking into it because
lawyers.
Because right now, like I said, they saying he could face up to 10 years. You know, doubt that'll happen, but we'll see, man. Like I said, that's not good. But on to some great news. Moving on. So this week, I don't know if you all heard, but in Sacramento, the police, I guess they decide, you know what, we're bored. Let's go ahead and shoot another black kid for no reason. And so they go on and they shoot this 22-year-old unarmed black man. I mean, they say that, I'll tell the whole story, that they say that they were, they got a call that somebody had been breaking into cars. And the kid was like in his own backyard and grandmother's backyard, and they saw him. And when he saw him, he ran. The 22-year-old kid ran. Of course, it's the police. I mean, these days you're gonna run. And sure enough, they told him to freeze. When he started running, he had a cell phone. They thought it was a gun. That's what they say. And they shot him 20 times and killed him, of course, right? So he's dead. Rest in peace. And that is Mr. What's my man's name? Mr. Stephon Clark. And rest in peace, Stephon Clark, and condolences to his family. But the good news is, or what's cool is, DeMarcus Cousins, you know, he played in Sacramento before he went to New Orleans. And he stated that, you know, he said, you know what, I'm going to reach out to the family. And he reached out to the family and he offered to pay for the funeral, which is dope. And the crazy thing is, this is not the first time he's done this. He's done this before. And he was a kid that got killed in a shooting. He was a former football player. And he played in high school and he got killed in the shooting. And Cousins went and paid for his funeral. So this is not the first time he's done it. So shout out to Cousins. Good luck. You know, but all right, this, like I said, this is about sports, so I'm going to leave that alone, man. And last but not least, I think you might want to get the stop it button ready. So, Illinois Fighting Illini, you know, yes, that's the college I root for. Of course, being from Illinois, they suck. We know that. And the last 2 years, they've gone 5-19. And Lovie Smith is at the helm, so he's still there. I'm surprised he hadn't got fired. But 5-19, and they just landed a 5-star quarterback in Isaiah Williams, and he's ranked number 28th as far as players coming out of high school. Can I get the stop it button? Like, how does that happen?
Stop it.
Like, something's going on. And now the kid is from St. Louis, but still, a 5-star going to Illinois?
Is he related to Juice Williams?
I don't know. I need to look that up. Oh, you mean Juice? Was it Juice?
Well, I know
Juice, and they called him Juice. Yeah,
yeah. I know his name is Isaiah, but is this Isaiah Williams related to?
I don't know. It didn't
that's
say.
That's the only reason I can think
Bruh,
of.
That's why I give it a star, because how in the world are you getting a 5-star player and you've been 5 and y'all have sucked for the the last 10, 15 years. Like, y'all really hadn't been good like that. I mean, they suck. You know what I'm saying? They're horrible. And you get a 5-star quarterback. Like, so I give it a stopper because something's going down. But then I might give a stop. I shouldn't give a stopper to a kid, but I'm gonna have to. He's in college now. I might have to give a stopper to Isaiah Williams. Like, bro, what? Why are you going to? And I mean, I'm glad we got him, but usually when we see this, that happened to Mississippi State. Remember we saw this in Mississippi State?
Yeah.
Ole Miss. I'm sorry, Ole Miss. Then we saw some sanctions come down. You know.
Yeah, like Illinois is not supposed to be good at football.
No, we're just not. I've accepted that. So I don't know. But anyway, that concludes our quick hits. We're going to take a quick break and we will be right back.
Yo, what's going on, sports fans out there? Happy Saturday. It's your boy Sherm, a.k.a. the Lord of the Beats, and of course, host of Face the Music, which you can listen to every Wednesday on the 3-Point Conversion Station. And you are currently in the Sports Lounge, maxing and relaxing with my homie, Mr. Controversy, and of course, the Wizzle. Live and direct on 1100 AM WWWE ATL. Yeah!
There's a lot going on in the world, and your world is always changing. That's why it's important to stay connected. The latest news, the latest entertainment, the newest music. If it's in the air or on the air, it can be in the palm of your hand, wherever you are, with the iHeartRadio app.
iHeartRadio.
Over 1,500 live radio stations from across the country, and over 15 million songs to create your own custom stations. Text IHR to 45495 to download the app or listen at iHeartRadio.com. Standard text and data rates apply.
Want to lower your rate and payments? Get rid of mortgage insurance or get cash out? Find out about your best refinance options by tuning into the Get Mortgage Fit radio show with Alex Michaels and Carrie Kasem, Monday afternoon at 12 p.m., Tuesday and Wednesday at 3 p.m., and Sunday mornings at 10 a.m., where you'll learn everything you need to know about mortgage loans, today's rates, FHA, VA, and more. Call the Get Mortgage Fit Show on the Real 1100 AM at 800-827-RATE. That's 800-827-RATE, or visit them online at newamericanfunding.com.
Hey, what's up, everyone? It's your girl, Kelsey Nicole Nelson, and you're listening to the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. Stay tuned. It's going to be a great show.
Yes, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. Oh, shout out to my co-host, The Intellectual. He's not in today. He's on vacation. I know people like, how long is the vacation? You know, it was other reasons. He's coming back next week, I promise you. He will be back next week. But definitely want to shout out our sponsor, Cindy Cut Barbershop, who is located in Douglasville, Georgia, Chapel Hill Road, 3000 Suite 206. Shout out to Dwayne Chambers, where you can find him on Instagram at Simha the Barber, SIMHATHEBARBER. And want to shout out to all the barbers, man. I'm not even going to single anybody out. We're going to shout out to all the barbers. They do their things. They do their thing. They're great. You know what I'm saying? It's a place where if you want to go send your kid, or if you just want to go, you can hang out, get a haircut, talk sports, politics. But it's some real, like, old school mixed with the new flavor. You'll love it, you know. And shout out to Warren. We hadn't mentioned Warren. I was at the barbershop at 5 o'clock this morning, and Warren came in. And Warren is still there waiting for a cut. Warren, just pay that fee, bro. All right, man. So, look. We have, as you hear, my special guest from Quick Out the Blocks.
Quick out the blocks.
From Charlotte, North Carolina. Miss Nashina Davis. What's going on, Nashina?
Nothing much. Just getting ready to gear up for this game later on this evening.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be exciting with that. I can't wait.
Very interesting.
Very interesting, right? But look, before we get into the game, we're not going to talk about the game right now, but we're going to talk about the game within the game. And I want to talk about, you see in sports right now, you see a lot of women, finally getting the opportunity, and not just getting the opportunity there. I mean, right now we have you all in there as far as sports journalism, whether it's writing, commentating, reporting, and which is great. But of course, it was a time where you didn't see that many women doing this. So my question to you is, first of all, when you see this, you see the abundance of women doing this, it is a great feeling, right? Like
it is. As I like to say, if you want something done right, get a woman to do it. So it is a good feeling to see, some of those, I guess, those glass ceilings being shattered in the sports world as far as seeing more women in front of the camera, that are writing, and just who's having their opinions heard,
right,
so to speak.
So, we're going to tell the truth and shame the devil. So I want to go back. I'm going to bring two situations up. The first situation I'm going to bring up is, of course, we all know with Cam Newton and the young lady. What was the young lady's name?
Jordan Rodrigue.
And if you all don't know, Miss Nashina covers the Carolina Panthers, and so she's very familiar with this situation. And, of course, when she asked a question about route running and Cam answered the way he did, like, it's just funny to hear that, And a lot of people took offense to it, which I definitely understand. But the thing is, I wonder, like, you can't say that if you can. Like, we got on him like, bro, you can't do that.
Yeah, I mean, Cam definitely has his times where he's kind of stuck his foot in his mouth. Foot in his mouth. That particular situation, I think, though, I may be in a minority in thinking this. I feel like it was just over-exaggerated, so to speak. You know how it is when you have a certain relationship or a certain, interaction with some people, you can get away with saying some certain things to some people. They won't get offended. They just know that that's your personality. But if someone doesn't know that that's your personality, then, there's that gray area where they probably will be offended by certain things that you say. And Jordan and I started covering the Panthers. She started covering them like maybe a month after me. So this is both coming up. It's going to be our third seasons. And I had seen them joke around before, so he probably thought, it was a lighthearted thing to say. I guarantee when everybody left that room, he had no idea that it was going to blow up the way it did.
Right.
I had no idea.
I was going to say, with the feeling in the room, did you all feel like it was going to blow up?
No. The press conference just went, without a hitch. That's why I was so shocked like 3 hours later when I was at home and I just saw Twitter start blowing up. I'm like, well, what's going on? Right. And I usually only do open locker room on Wednesdays, and that happened on a Wednesday. I was in the press room when that happened. So I went back the next day because I wanted to see what was going to happen with the aftermath. I wanted to see what was going on. And I asked one of the camera guys that was there, I said, did you know this was going to blow up? He was like, honestly, no. He was like, the only reason we put a story out is because somebody else put a story out. And, we had, obviously they had video because they video every press conference. But the feeling in the room, there wasn't like a hush over the crowd or anything. It just kind of, everybody was kind of like, oh, that's just Cam, and it just kept going. And see,
and the reason why I brought that up is because, like you said, nothing was going on. But outside, it was mayhem. And then the thing is, honestly, most men, it's not, like I said, we're going to tell the truth. It's not common to hear women, I meet a lot of women that does it now, I guess because, talking about sports, but usually it's not common to have women into sports like that. And now we're talking about journalism. It's like, y'all coming in now, which is great, but I'm wondering, are the companies or organizations, are they doing this for the right reasons? Because then you look at, I'm going to bring up another situation. You look at Pam Oliver. She was with Fox.
Right.
And she was doing her thing. And shout out to Pam. She's listening. She was on it.
Right.
I mean, you know, her wigs weren't quite there, but she was doing her thing, you know. It was hard to focus on what she was saying. But then all of a sudden, they bring in the, what's the young lady name? I'm not even, Andrews, yeah.
Erin Andrews, yeah.
And I'm not a big fan of hers, you know, but they brought her in and, you know, people have been speculating, is it because of her looks? She's younger.
I think that's absolutely what it is. I mean, when you talk about women being actually on camera and in front of people, there's a certain aesthetic that people feel like the masses want to see. You know, I even had someone kind of joking in the locker room, and I was like, "Oh, you should have me co-host your show." You know, I usually don't, you know, do videos with other people unless I'm just interviewing them. And he, in a roundabout way, told me that he had to keep his white co-star that comes on game days because that's what people want to see. Now, mind you, this particular woman is a very surface area. Well, she doesn't really report on the game. She just kind of runs their social media. But I just thought that was shocking to hear, and it came from a black man. And so it was shocking to hear, but I understand it. I'm not saying it's okay, it's right, but it does happen, and it needs to stop.
So what can we do, or what needs to happen? Because I'm not gonna lie. I when it first started happening, you start seeing a lot of women doing reporting.
The blonde hair and the blue eyes,
and not even that. I'm not even forget that. You just start seeing women. Period. You saw. I was like, okay, like, nah. Is this? Are we doing this because it's a trend? Because like ABC, they were doing it, you know, and it was cool. You saw Leslie Visser and all of them. Then Florida Network, ESPN, they were doing it fine. But then you start seeing everybody else. And I understand the business is, you know, copycat world right now in this type of business.
Right.
But still, are we hiring women in this genre to, you know, because of it's the trend now, this is what we need, this is the thing to do, or are we trying to give everybody the equal opportunity? And that's what I'm wondering.
I'll say it's a little bit of both. I know that's kind of playing devil's advocate, but I'd say it's a little bit of both. I think that there are definitely some women that cover sports that are really kind of just surface area. This is just my assignment. This is what I'm going to do. But there's so many other female journalists or women journalists that really do know the sport inside and out. They could tell you what a wheel route is. They could tell you what an out route is. They could tell you what, you know, cover 2, Tampa 2 coverages look like, you know. And for those women, I think that it takes away from the fact that they are really talented and really knowledgeable in their field when they see somebody else that's kind of just, you know, just a prop, so to speak.
Right.
So I really would like to see more actual journalism, or, you know, whether it's video journalism or whether it's just print journalism. I would definitely love for more women to be utilized for their actual knowledge in the sport and not just fed a couple of lines to say, you know, in between TV timeouts and things like that.
Right. And I think more than often, or more than less, you see that now where you see a lot of knowledgeable women. Because I'm not gonna lie, this is some men out here that have these jobs and
that don't know sports.
They shouldn't be doing this. It's like, bro, what you talking about? But I mean, and I think right now is we need to get. And I always said, I'm not just saying we shouldn't get. You know, I don't like the fact that we're hiring women. I didn't like it for it. We're doing it just because it's the trend. My thing is, you should get whoever is qualified, whether it's a man or woman, because like you said, it's a lot of men is not knowledgeable, but they have the job.
That's their assignment. That's just kind of where they got put.
Right.
They're just there. So I see a lot of that in the press room where, you know, in particular that day when they were talking about the routes, one of the women walked out on her way out. She was like, oh, well, what is a route? And she had been covering the Panthers for years and years. So that lets me know that there's people that go in there, they get their video, they give people what they want to see for the little 5-10 minute segments that they're on the news, and that's it. But there's other people that, you know, it's March. There's other people that have their draft boards up. They're looking, where do the Panthers pick number 24, who's realistically going to be there? So I think that when they do have women and men that are props, it takes away from the people that actually have a passion for the sports that they're covering.
Right. So look, there you have it. You know how we do it on the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge, or inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. You know we're going to give it raw, man. We're going to tell the truth and shame the devil. And I think it's a great topic, a topic that needs to be heard. And because, like I said, you have so much going on in this genre that sometimes it's not for the right reasons. It's just to appear, just to blend in with everyone else. But then you have some, and like I said, it's not just this situation, but anything else. I mean, everything is like that, you know. But particularly this situation, to have someone next to me that knows what she's talking about, that's good to hear. I mean, like I said, I love the sport, and I never want to cheat the sport. So we're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back.
Hey there, this is Lazy Clarendon, point guard for the Atlanta Dream, and I listen to Mr. Controversy on the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge.
What it is, what it ain't. This your boy Sherm, host of Face the Music. Join me every Wednesday night for Power Hour, where we intersect the worlds of sports and music, and we do it the best way we can, which is on a Sherm beat. So if you're ready to come through, catch some realness, vibe to some dope sounds, tune in to Face the Music every Wednesday on the 3-Point Conversion station. Let's get it.
What's up? This is Anthony Hamilton, and you're listening to the 3-Point Conversion.
Yes, Mr. Controversy, the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. Having a great time doing what I love, talking about sports. It's a great day, man. Like I said, today in Atlanta, Georgia, and I think in Los Angeles as well, we have 4 teams fighting to get to the Final Four. In LA, we have Florida State going up against Michigan. And then we have here in Atlanta, Georgia, we have Loyola Chicago going up against Kansas State. Big games, man. It's going to be a big game tonight. And to talk about this, you know we had to bring in my man, Deshaun Tate at Take Sports. What's going on, Deshaun?
Hey, good morning, man. Appreciate you guys for having me on.
No doubt, man. No doubt. Bruh, it's been a wild time, and here in Chicago, here in Atlanta, it was a wild time Thursday. Great games, but just the tournament as a whole has been crazy. A lot of unexpected wins, losses. If you can just put it in perspective, just the whole tournament so far, how amazing has the tournament been, and where would you rank it personally?
I don't think that necessarily the tournament has been of quality exactly. I think in terms of when you're looking at upsets and unpredictability, I think that's where it starts to rank towards the top of NCAA tournaments. And I mean, just giving it some thought, typically, when you start talking about Sweet 16 and Elite 8, you tend to get a lot of chalk. And what I mean by that is pretty much teams that you kind of expected to be there, the Kansas, the Dukes, the Villanovas, things of that nature, which is, that's in the Midwest region, and some really good games yesterday with West Virginia as well making it through. But who expected this to happen in the South region here in Atlanta, where you kind of expected maybe you'd have Virginia or Cincinnati, maybe even Tennessee or Kentucky, and I think there's another team, Arizona, teams I missed. But right now we're looking at the winner of Loyola and Kansas State to be in the Final Four, which is kind of, mind-boggling in a sense. When you come to think about it, that whoever wins tonight is going on to San Antonio to participate and be and partake in the Final Four, And we saw, it wouldn't surprise me too much if we saw Loyola Chicago do it. I mean, we saw with Butler, but I mean, they had to kind of go through the ringer a little bit. They had to go through Michigan State in order to get there, and we've seen it, with VCU. VCU had to go through Connecticut, and obviously a George Mason team, had to kind of do the same thing back in 2006, go through Michigan State, North Carolina, and Connecticut. So Loyola hasn't necessarily had to go through the ringer, but I will say enough to say that it has definitely been an unpredictable tournament. I'm just not sure that we saw the teams make deep runs in the NCAA tournament the way that we would probably like to.
Yeah, and once again, we're here with Deshaun Tate from 92.9 The Game. You can follow him at Tate Takes Sports on Twitter and Instagram. Now, you spoke about a little bit Loyola Chicago and Kansas State playing tonight.
Mm.
What would it take for Loyola to advance and beat Kansas State?
They'd have to hit some big shots up against Kansas State's defense. I mean, Kansas State is a really, really good defensive team. I don't think that they get nearly enough credit leading up to this point. But they are really good defensively, and what they can bring to the table is energy. I mean, they're playing with house money at this point, which in some cases you'd kind of prefer just because the expectations aren't nearly as big as it is for some of the other teams. But in the same token, when you're looking at it, I mean, Kansas State is kind of doing the same thing a little bit. They're obviously one of the more confident teams nationally right now, just as much as anybody else. But I definitely think that the guard play has to really be on point with the point guard there at Loyola, and then the same thing with Kurtwig up front, the big guy in the middle. If he finds a way to get into foul trouble, I think that they can have some issues. But I think both teams are obviously vulnerable, but both teams are confident, and that will probably, I'm sure, will make for at least, if nothing else, a good game. I'm not sure who's had a lower attendance this year. This game that we're going to see tonight between Kansas State and Loyola, or any of these Hawks games that does not include LeBron James coming to town and Stephen Curry. So it'll be interesting, that's for sure. The good thing about it is, although we didn't see that in the South region with a bunch of teams outside of Kentucky who travel so well, but they probably won't be there today, I'm sure, is that we had a chance on Thursday to see some really, really good games, and they came down to the wire. And if you're a fan of basketball and not just looking for a name, then you definitely treated yourself if you had an opportunity to either be there or sit in front of the TV on your couch and watch.
Yeah, definitely. It's funny you say that because when Kentucky lost, so we had to, I was actually honored to be there sitting alongside Deshaun Tate, and, that's definitely an honor. You know how Deshaun Tate's an expert at this. But anyway, I was there when Kentucky lost. A fan came over there to the press table and was like, hey, I guarantee you this. It's sure going to be an empty stadium come Saturday. And I looked at him like, man, you might be right. But like you said, both games were great, and both teams are deserving as far as Loyola and Kansas State. Now, going to the other game tonight, Michigan and Florida State. Seems like both teams have seemed to get hot at the right time. Now, Florida State, they're athletically gifted, but seems like they haven't been able to get it right throughout the season. But right now, like I said, they're hot. What are the keys to this game as far as for either team to make it to the Final Four?
I think I don't think that either team is extremely talented. John Beilein from Michigan is a really good coach. And from that standpoint, I think that he might have the edge over Leonard Hamilton. However, Florida State, like you said, more athletic, and they like to get out and run. And they're going to come out and use some athleticism, try to use their size a little bit to benefit, them, and hoping that gives them an edge, But the thing is about Florida State is that I'm not really sold on how disciplined they are in the game and in such pressure situations like this, where Michigan has been here before. We're talking about 2013 right here in Atlanta. They went to the national championship game and lost within the last couple minutes. Louisville sealed the deal there. So Michigan returns, and although none of those same guys are on this same team, they still play and run their system identically in the same way that they do, and a guy like Mo Wagner, if you haven't seen this guy, this guy is, when I say he's really good, he's really, really good for Michigan. A guy up front who can step out, shoot it a little bit, but just the fact that he's got good footwork, he's got soft hands, he's very crafty around the rim, and he's a pretty good ball handler as well. Those are just some of the little things I think are key, but Florida State cannot afford to get frustrated when things don't go their way because, as you know, the athleticism, you limit yourself to athleticism a little bit. So as much as Florida State likes to dominate inside, they definitely have to remain disciplined, and they have to be able to hit shots from the outside because Michigan doesn't make mistakes. They don't beat themselves. You have to beat them. I'm not going to say it's extremely tough to beat them, but I will say that they don't beat themselves, and that makes it tougher than just assuming that they'll give a game away.
Yeah, I agree with you, man. Florida State, like you mentioned, of course they have the athleticism, but they're not, what should I say? They're wild, you know what I'm saying? And the fact that they're not disciplined, I'm pretty shocked to see them where they are right now. But you look at the teams out of the, I think is it the Midwest with, Kansas and Duke. We finally have that matchup that we want to see, where you have the two top teams in that bracket, and then not just that, but historic teams play each other. Who has the advantage?
I think probably Duke has the advantage in a sense, in certain things, and that's why I think it's pretty even. Yes, Coach K, from a coaching standpoint, has the advantage there. He's the best coach in college basketball. However, Bill Self isn't a slouch. He's not going up against a guy who's not proven. Bill Self has a national championships, 8 national championship and 14 consecutive regular season championships in this year's toughest conference in the country, or most competitive conference in the country, if you will, and won their conference tournament too. So they're rolling, and they're just as hot as anybody else. But Kansas has to hit shots from the outside. if they're not shooting over 50% from three, then, things can get out of hand a little bit. I won't go as far as saying Duke will, trump them by 20, but, it can get out of hand late in the game to where you're talking about, a 10-point deficit or something. But Duke doesn't go very deep down their bench either. Trayvon Duval, I think, will be very key because he hasn't played well all season. And as soon as he started showing, that's the point guard from Duke, as soon as he started showing some flashes that he's kind of getting back to who he was when he was playing in high school, coming out as the number one point guard in the country, then, we see games like yesterday where during some key moments and key stretches, he didn't exactly show up and make some of the best decisions. So, I think it'll be interesting. They're young. Duke is a young team at the end of the day, and make no mistake about it, it's still national championship or bust. There's no glorifying Duke because they get to the Final Four and then make it to the semifinals or national championship game and then lose.
Right.
It's win the whole thing, just like next year. Same thing with the recruits that they have. They have the number one player coming out of high school at every position there. But Kansas, the Kansas is thin up front. So they're going to need some scoring from behind the arc. Between Devontae Graham, LeGerald Vick is really good as well. He's probably their toughest player. And then, when you're looking at, in the front court between D'Souza, who's really inexperienced, and then, Azubuike, who will be very key because as thin as they are up front, you would think that Duke can take advantage of them. But this guy named Udoka Azubuike, I had a chance to see him in Chicago live. This dude is huge. He's like 7 feet tall, probably close to 350 pounds, maybe not that big, but it's really close, and a lot of that is muscle. That's no fat. So you better believe that guys like Marvin Bagley, who's inexperienced and thin, as well as Wendell Carter, might have their hands full on the inside. If they can get them into foul trouble, the foul trouble up front is probably going to be the biggest key in this game, something to keep close attention to.
There you have it, my man Deshaun Tate at Takes Sports, who has all the knowledge, knows college basketball. This is what he live, breathe, eat, and drink. Sir, please let everyone know where we can find and follow you, sir.
Oh, at Take Sports, man, as you said, Instagram, as well as Twitter, TATESTAKE Sports. Still working on some little minor things in terms of websites and getting everything together, but you better believe, man, Final Four is here. March Madness has arrived, and as much as I love it, man, I kind of hate it at the same time because that means we're getting close to the end, and I hate to see it go. So hopefully I get a chance to see you tonight. I'm not sure if I will at the regional final. And then anytime you need me sometime next week, if need be, whatever, I'll be out in San Antonio. I'll be looking forward to, hopefully, if all is willing, able to come back and join you guys.
Oh, of course. Appreciate you, sir. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back.
What's good, family? I'm Marlon Sucker Free Jones, a Sucker Free Life LLC, and I'm locked in every Saturday to the best sports show on the planet, the 3-Point Conversion, where no team or no player is off limits. So let's talk sports, the best of the best, the worst of the worst, and everything in between. Can you dig that?
Okay, so where do more Americans turn first in the morning to start their day? Go on, tell them, Robin.
Good morning, America.
George.
Good morning, America.
Lara.
Good morning, America.
So, take it from Robin.
Put some good in your morning.
With ABC's Good Morning America.
I'll never forget
that moment.
As long as I live.
As long as I live.
My first call ever as a member of the National Guard.
When we got to the armory, they briefed us on the wildfires. They were getting dangerously close to homes.
Helicopters were going out to drop water on the fires.
Guys in the unit were preparing for firefighting with local fire crews.
At that moment, I got my first taste of just how important the Guard is to my community.
See how the Guard can be an important part of your life at NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Georgia National Guard. Aired by the Georgia Association of Broadcasters and this station.
If you're a single man under the age of 35, you'd probably like to know what the ladies are looking for on an online dating site. A guy who had a few drinks and later got pulled over for buzzed driving. See, that could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. And doesn't a guy who's back living with his parents but calls them my roommates just scream Mr. Right?
Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzzed driving is drunk driving. A message from the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
Hey, what's going on, sports fans? It's your boy Damian Adams from The Real Deal with Damian Adams. Now, you can catch my show on Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time here on the 3-Point Conversion Station. But for right now, I'm listening to the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge with my man, Mr. Controversy. Always keeping it real, always keeping it raw. I can't miss out on this on my Saturday mornings, so keep it locked to the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge.
Yes, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. Mr. Controversy. Feeling good today. I'm blessed to cover this NCAA tournament today. Loyola Chicago, representing Chicago. And of course we got Kansas State. I'm just kidding. I mean, I just want to see a game. I'm just messing around. But anyway, like, man, it's just good to see these young boys play, man. It's good to see players show emotion, not just show emotion, but this is, yes, it's a lot of kids that leave, one and done. We talk about that, but, man, they're like, you could tell while they're here, they're putting that to the side. And I was in the locker room, in Kentucky's locker room, they were sick. I mean, saw tears flowing, and I'm talking about players, they're about to go ahead and enter the NBA draft, but it's good to see that, man. So shout out to them young kids. Now, this segment, What's on My Mind, is brought to you by Sucker Free Life LLC. Make sure you live your truth for the world to see, because everyone can be sucker free. Purchase your apparel today exclusively at facebook.com/Sucker Free LLC. Life LLC. I'm sorry, Sucker Free Life LLC. Now, like I said, the segment is called What's on My Mind. And, this is that segment, if it's your first time listening, where we just, I just like to come in, man, and tell you what's going on, what is bothering me, what I don't understand. I'm not venting, because men don't vent, but I'm just letting it out my chest. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell y'all what's on my mind. So look, this is what's going on. I talked about the NCAA tournament, and I talked about watching these young kids play and how enthused they are and the level of competition, the heartache, the joy, the pain, all of that. It comes with it. You see it. It's visual, or visible, I should say. It's right there. And it's great to see. We talk about this time of the year because you see that, But what's sad is they have to look up to their big brothers, so to say, or their uncles, depending on how old they are, in the NBA. And some are mentors to these kids. And yes, you got the LeBron James, you have Steph Curry, Russell Westbrook, these type players that give it their all, that play hard every single second, play like it's a playoff game every game. But then you have 75% of the league just coasting. If they're on a losing team, hey, I'm just getting this check, bro. I remember a story from a source, a very credible source, and Josh Smith for the Atlanta Hawks, and he was at the table, and they were talking to Josh Smith about, hey, we want to build this team. This is coming from management. They're telling me we want to build a team. We're trying to get to a championship. That's what we're building. And Josh Smith said, you know what? He said it just like this. I don't really care about that. I'm just trying to get my money, shawty. That's what he said at the table. That's Josh Smith. And you have a lot of players that think like that. And they're not into this for the love of the game. They fell in love with it, but at some point, they lost their love. And when you're watching the NCAA tournament and you see these kids playing their hearts out, but knowing the one and dones, they have to leave, and they're playing their hearts out, but they have to leave, then they go to the NBA, and 75% of the NBA think like, get your money. There's nothing wrong with getting your money, but earn your money also. But they don't want to play. They want to play every now and then. If it's a big game, all right, I'm going to play. But if not, we just going to coast. And not coast like we're playing the, I can't even say LA Clippers now. The Atlanta Hawks. We're here, the Atlanta Hawks, and we're just going to coast. And, we're going to blow them out. Cool. I'm talking because we playing this such team, we're just going to, I'm not going to play hard, man. It's whatever. We're about to lose anyway. And that just bothers me, man. So that part is what's on my mind. But another thing that's on my mind quickly baseball is about to start this Thursday. I can't wait. Or can I? I remember one time as a child, I'll say my age. I'm 38, I don't know why men be lying about the age anyway. That's a sucker move. But anyway, I'm 38, and coming up, as a kid, baseball was it. You wanted to play baseball. You wanted to do, do like the pros. You know what I'm saying? You saw people that I was a little bit older, but seeing Ken Griffey Jr., you wanted to be like that. I mean, that was the thing. We loved baseball. We would go outside in the park, play baseball. I mean, throw the ball again. If you had steps, throw the ball up against the steps, act like you were a shortstop. All of that good stuff. I mean, we kept up with it. But for some reason, the kids today, they don't have that same feeling. Why? Is it because of the steroids? No. That helped baseball. That saved baseball. I don't know what happened. You know what I'm saying? What is it? And maybe as a black man, is it because it's less of us? That might have something to do with it. But even before then, it was a disconnect just with kids all over. And I remember as a kid, I couldn't wait to open the day. You remember back in the day when you get the baseball cards and they had that hard piece of the hard stick of gum. It was red, you know what I'm saying? You could break it and have it hard. But you chewed on it, you just loved it. You could smell that scent on the cards or the gum. You traded cards. People don't even do that these days. I could probably go to the average sports fan and ask them to name 15 Major League Baseball players, and they probably wouldn't know 15. And that's sad. And 5 of them would be old timers, which, I'm talking about of today. And I'm wondering why. Like, why don't we have that connect that it used to be with the players, the league, and the fans, and the kids? Atlanta Braves right now, opening day, I guarantee you, it's not going to be filled up. And that's sad. That's sad. Whether it's a good team or not. And like I said, I just don't understand it. It's mind-boggling. I wish I felt like that again. You know what I'm saying? I will be watching baseball. I'm a sports fan, of course. But I just don't have that passion anymore like we used to, man. And I don't know. But that's what's on my mind. G, I got to ask you, was you ever a baseball fan?
I was. Until about...
No, say that again. What was your answer? You what?
I was.
And you hear he said was. Go ahead.
Up until... I probably stopped watching once Barry Bonds was kind of forced out. I'm kind of one of those... this may be a joke or whatever, but I don't care about steroids all that much. So
right. I'm with you.
I think once that became like what everyone was talking about, and everyone is anytime someone hits a home run, is he taking steroids? It kind of just turned me off to watching the game. Like, I couldn't enjoy it because people are focused on other things.
Yeah, and that's like, I think that might have been when I left. When I checked out the 94 strike, it was, that didn't help, but baseball came back with the steroid era, and with McGuire, Sosa hitting all those home runs. And then, like you said, once it came up and it was a problem, you knew it. Like I said, Luis Gonzalez, that joker weighed $150 maybe. And he was hitting 13 home runs a season. Now all of a sudden he hitting 52.
The guy that always came up for me was Brady Anderson.
Yeah, come on, man.
The leadoff man all of a sudden gets 50 home runs.
Then when you a leadoff man, your name is Brady. Stop it. So like, but yeah, but still we knew it. So whatever. But like you said, then they start going after these players that saved them. That's what did it for me. Like, how you go after these players that saved you. And then you got Sammy Sosa. I know it's old, but he got to get a stopper for this when he comes out. And I'm not even talking about how he changed his skin complexion. I know he's a white man. She over here talking about he's a white man. I'm not even talking about that. Now I don't think he's white. He's gray, but he remember he came out and was like, look, we don't what did he say? I'm not you can test me all you want, whatever. I'm not using steroids and all that.
Oh, that was Rafael Palmeiro.
No, Sammy said it too. This is what Sammy said. Rafael Palmeiro said that, and then he didn't want to take the test. But Sammy was like, whatever, you can test me. I'm all man and all of this. And then it was time when he went to court, and they asked him, he was like, never speaking English. It's like, what?
Stop it.
And all of a sudden, you can't speak English? Come on. But anyway, but again, that's what's on my mind, man. We're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be back with the Stop It moments.
You are tuned into WWE Peakville, AM 1100.
The opinions expressed during the sponsored programs on this station are strictly those of the program hosts, guests, and callers and are not necessarily those of Beasley Broadcast Group, this station, its staff, other advertisers, or agencies.
There's a lot going on in the world, and your world is always changing. That's why it's important to stay connected. The latest news, the latest entertainment, the newest music. If it's in the air or on the air, it can be in the palm of your hand, wherever you are, with the iHeartRadio app.
iHeartRadio.
Over 1,500 live radio stations from across the country and over 15 million songs to create your own custom stations. Text IHR to 45495 to download the app or listen at iHeartRadio.com. Standard text and data rates apply.
Whether I'm training for a marathon, kickboxing, or lifting, I train to add muscle and build my inner strength. I am proud that I was born this way. Driven. That's why I serve in the United States Coast Guard. You can find me on a Coast Guard cutter, along with my shipmates, who are a lot like me, driven and committed to our country and the safety of our citizens. We were born for the Coast Guard.
If you were born ready, learn more at GoCoastGuard.com.
Sponsored by the United States Coast Guard in cooperation with the Georgia Association of Broadcasters and this station.
What's going on, world? This your boy Vincent J, a.k.a. the Fantasy Guru. And do you know what time it is? It's time for the Stop It segment, right here on the 3 Point Conversion Sports Lounge.
No mercy. Don't let up on him. Go hard on him, Mr. Controversy. Hit him with the stop it button.
I'm gonna take it. All right, we are back inside the 3 Point Conversion Sports Lounge. I want to thank everyone who's listening live. I appreciate you who's supporting the show, supporting me, supporting Dennis, just supporting the radio station, the 3 Point Conversion. We definitely appreciate you, man. And whoever's listening or looking on Facebook Live, we appreciate you. And I also want to, give a special shout out to Mr. Bobby, who's at Seneca's Barbershop right now getting his haircut. He's in the chair right now. Who found Dwayne on Instagram. Yeah, you don't see me, bruh. I see you. But shout out to Bobby. We appreciate you. And also, we want to... he was Odom's old client. And we appreciate you, man. We appreciate you for listening, Bobby. But now it is time for the most infamous, the most famous Stop It segment. Let's get it. All right, so my stop it moment was just, let me explain this, because People gonna think I'm bogus, but oh well, I'm Mr. Controversy. This dude deserves to stop it. So I don't know if you all been paying attention, but Buffalo Bills wide receiver Zay Jones, who was the second round draft pick last year for the Bills. So he was arrested on Monday evening, right? So basically what happened is they saw him, they found him butt naked. He was tussling with his brother, Caleb Jones, who's a receiver for the Minnesota Vikings. And he was at his brother's girlfriend's house. Zay was butt naked at his brother's girlfriend's house. But he said he was going to jump off. I think after they was tussling or whatever, then Caleb was trying to save him because Zay said he was going to jump off 30 foot up 30 foot
window.
Out the window. I think it was on the 34. Yeah, he was going to jump out the window, right? So everybody decided to try to save him, whatever. But let me tell you why he's getting to stop it, because I don't think this joke was about to jump off. I think he tried to change the tables because this joke was at his brother's girlfriend's house, butt naked. His brother had on clothes. You could tell it looked like his brother just came in there. But he's at his brother's girlfriend's house. Then all of a sudden you want to jump off a window. I gotta get stop it.
Stop
man.
it.
I'm sorry, y'all. I know it's a sensitive topic, but whatever, bruh. I think this joker got caught and like, yo, I gotta change it up quick. And he went crazy. He was breaking glass with his barefoot and all that. And
I thought he stripped down like during the psychotic episode. I didn't know that he was found already butt naked at the apartment.
No, he was there, but he was there at his girlfriend's apartment. And I think when he got caught, I believe, just how y'all got y'all intuition, as men, we just know. Right? And he got caught, and he tried to, I'm about to go crazy right now. I think that's what happened.
I mean, but you can see all the blood smeared along the walls. And
he had to sell it. It was going to be blood regardless. They was fighting. They were fighting beforehand, and he had to do something.
So you think that they had to kind of do a little bit of damage control, so they spun the story a little bit after the fact? Is that what you think?
I just don't think they released everything. Go ahead, G.
Look, from him being naked and trying to go through that plate glass window, I can't get past the part to where there had to be some of that synthetic weed involved.
Something was going on.
Synthetic weed. I don't know. I don't think he was cheating.
But look, so why? Okay, so if that's the case, why was his brother dressed and why was his brother calm? But all of a sudden he just have a breakdown? Because at first, if you watch the video, like his brother was upset with him, like you could tell, and some witnesses were saying that they were arguing.
Oh, okay.
But they were arguing because he was at his. Why you at? First of all, I don't care how crazy you are. Say if he wasn't there. Say if he didn't go there for that. They came together. Let's just say. But if you come together and you at my lady's house or my wife's house, brother or whoever, and you want to go crazy and get naked.
Well, I mean, he's going crazy, so it's not like he's rationalizing.
And I'm about to knock you out your craziness. I'm about to knock you out, take you out your misery for the time being, cover you up, let the cops come.
So you basically put him to sleep.
Yeah. Yeah, come on, man. It's Joker.
Put your clothes
come on, bro.
I mean, I don't want to laugh and diminish it because, CTE is a real thing. So
they didn't say anything about no CTE.
I mean,
it's that, I think it's called a K2 or whatever it is. It's basically like bath salts.
And it's making people go crazy.
Yeah.
Like if you remember with Robert Kimdichie, when he was still at Ole Miss, he walked through a plate glass window after. I don't know what it is with plate glass windows and this fake weed, but that always seems to be the connection.
But the plate glass windows and fake weed.
But like I said, he deserves to stop it, man. But look, we're gonna take a quick break, and we will be back with our battleground session. Be right back.
Let me break down to y'all what's so dope about the three-point conversion. First of all, everybody is a fan of the game first. Second of all, everybody is a student of the game second. And third of all, we're the average sports fan just like everybody else. We're not coming in here, walking with our nose tipped high, acting snooty, acting brand new. This is a grassroots organization. Bar none. The three-point conversion, where fans' opinions matter. Be sure to visit the website www.the3pointconversion.com. Get your fix, get your articles, multimedia, and everything else that you, as a sports fan, need. So again, the3pointconversion.com. It's where it's at, man, where fans' opinions matter.
You know, yesterday I tried to introduce myself to the mother of that new boy in Ryan's class.
Yeah, was she nice?
Well, she basically shook my hand and walked away. She seemed sort of, I don't know, sad or something.
His name is Anthony, and his mom doesn't have any teeth in the front. He says that's why she never smiles.
No wonder. I think I'll talk to her tomorrow about our dentist. Maybe he can help.
A beautiful smile is the first thing people notice. Unfortunately, people right here in our community go through life without being able to smile. Dentists recognize that some people do not get the dental care they need. The Georgia Dental Association hosted the Georgia Mission of Mercy last August, providing low-income families with the dental care needed to regain their smiles. Dentists are trained and knowledgeable healthcare providers that are often the first ones to detect diseases like oral cancer and diabetes. For a lifetime of smiles, schedule an appointment with a Georgia Dental Association member dentist today. Visit gadental.org for a listing of dentists in your area.
Today, I had lunch with Maria, Anthony's mom, and she couldn't stop smiling.
Yes, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. Having another great show, having some more fun. It's about to get real. Shout out to everybody on Facebook Live, man. What up, Derek Branch? I see you. Sherm Beats is on. I see you, Sherm. And right now, this segment here, this is for real sports fans. And why I say that, because right now it is time for Battlegrounds. Battlegrounds playoffs semifinals. Again, congratulations to Ben Sutter, who advanced 2 weeks ago, and he will be facing Mr. Damian Adams on next week. But this week, we have two contestants. And shout out to Frank at City Cuts Barbershop, who I don't know what happened, I guess, but he's not in it. He was supposed to be in this, but I think something came up. I think he's working, so I feel him right now. He's cutting hair, so he can't. So he had to bow gracefully, and he said, congrats to everyone else. So for that reason, we have Mr. Alan Fields. What's going on, Alan?
Hey, what's going on, guys?
And Alan,
lady.
And Alan, you advanced, and so you're in the semifinals. And then we have Mr. Danny Thompson. What's going on, Danny?
What's up, family? How's it going, man?
We're good, man. We're good, bro. Hey, man, so enough of this mushy stuff. So, look, we about to get it real. It's time to go at it. And if this is your first time listening to Battlegrounds, how it works is we have two contestants. We have 3 rounds. I'll ask a question each round. Each player has, a chance to argue their answer. Now, how it works is if Danny goes first, he gets 30 seconds to come up with his answer. And then after the 30 seconds, he has 2 minutes to argue his answer and his point. After he goes, then the next contestant, which will be Alan, he comes in. He doesn't get 30 seconds because he had that time when Danny was going. He comes in, he gives his answer up to 2 minutes. Next round of flip-flops and so on. We have 3 rounds. I need your votes. If you're on Facebook Live, if you're listening, text me. If you're listening with Sheena watching, text her, whatever. Let us all know. We want to know the winner. You have to vote, all right? Vote, please vote. So we're going to go like this. Danny, since you are the higher seed, I'm going to let you pick first. I'm going to pick a number between 1 and 39. Danny, it's on you first.
I'm going to go with my daughter's favorite number. Let me go with number 11.
All right. Mr. Allen?
21.
All right. So the number was 2. Danny, you won, so you go first as far as, well, not go first, but you get the chance to pick who you want to go first. Are you going to kick it off or are you going to receive?
We go kick off. Let Alan go first.
Okay. All right. Let's get it. And if you're listening, you can all play along as well. All right. So, first question. All right, here we go. Name the best Kentucky Wildcat basketball player since 1990. Not named Jamal Mashburn or John Wall. And this has nothing to do with their NBA career. This is strictly college. I'm going to ask that question one more time. Name the best Kentucky Wildcat basketball player since 1990. Not named Jamal Mashburn or John Wall. And it has nothing to do with their NBA careers. It's strictly college. Alan, you have 30 seconds to come up with your answer. And again, if you're listening, if you think you could do this, hit me up on Facebook, Controversy Raphael, on Instagram, Controversy Raphael, or Twitter at Mr. Controversy 21. And let me know if you think you could do this. If you're serious about this, you know, a lot of people say they can do it, but they get on here. A lot of people have failed. I'm telling you, got to be ready. Got to be for real. That's how we doing it. Alan, you have 15 seconds, sir.
I'm ready.
All right. Let's go now.
I'm going to go with a guy that not a lot of people remember. Obviously, I'm going to go, just get right into it. I'm going to go with my man, Derek Anderson. Okay, he was a shooting guard. He was a prototypical guard for Kentucky Press. But Petito was there. He was a two-way player. He's a great outside shooter for college. Also a very good defender, could defend multiple positions. And he was one of those guys who, once they started that press, he was all over the place, getting his hands on deflections and everything. I believe he was on one of the championship teams. He was there leading them to one of their championships. And again, he was just an all-around great player for college. He did a lot of things for that Kentucky team. So that's the guy I'm going to go with. He was just outstanding player at Kentucky.
All right. Danny, it's on you. Let's go now.
I mean, there's a lot of great players over the last, umpteen years. Kentucky can field an all-star team full of players. But for me, it doesn't have to be statistics. It's a one-year situation. And nobody did it better than Anthony Davis in his 1 year at Kentucky. What people fail to realize that Anthony Davis was a point guard. 2 years prior to that, he was a 6'3" point guard for Chicago. He grew to be 6'11". And in the span of 1 year in college, he became a known prospect to the number 1 draft pick. He carried a Kentucky team that did have guys like Michael Kidd-Gilchrist and Darius Miller to a national championship. I think he averaged right around 15.5, 16 points a game, 11 rebounds. It was just one of the more dominating full-season, single-season efforts you'll ever find by one player. He won a national championship. That's already given. But what makes Anthony Davis so great is because he was so dominant on both ends of the floor. He changed the direction of the game by blocking shots. He rebounded. Just go back to watch the national championship game and how he carried Kentucky. Yes, they had Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, but there was no outside shooting on that team. Davis was a one-man wrecking crew. And at the same time, it elevated his draft status to be the number 1 overall pick that year of the draft. So if you're talking about the greatest Kentucky players of all time, national championships count. But when you go 1 for 1, that's batting 1,000. Anthony Davis did that. Oh, and by the way, he was the Oscar Robertson Award winner and the National Player of the Year, all at the same time, being a true freshman. Kind of hard to beat that one.
All right. That concludes round one. It is round two. Danny, you're up first. Alan, you go after Danny. All right, here's the question. Name a defense or a defensive team that would have the best chance to shut down the 1999 St. Louis Rams offense. Since 1990, not named Baltimore Ravens or the Seattle Seahawks. Max, that question one more time. Matter of fact, we're going to sweeten this deal. Name a team defense that would have had the best chance to shut down the 1999 St. Louis Rams since 1990, not named Baltimore Ravens, Seattle Seahawks, or the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And you have to pick that year. All right? Danny?
Okay.
You got 30 seconds.
All right, let's rock with it.
Let's go. I knew Danny was going to be ready. That's Danny all the time. Let's go now.
Well, if you look at single-season defense at any point in time in the last, 25 years you're talking about, I think, to me, a defense that's not rated is the 2015 Denver Broncos. That defense was just completely phenomenal. You have Von Miller coming around the corner, but he had 15 sacks that year. They were the top-ranked defense in the entire NFL that season. Just remember, in the playoffs, the defense only allowed 4 touchdowns, causing 7 turnovers in the playoffs that season. So when you have guys like Von Miller, I think they had Talib, they had guys on both ends of the field. And remember, in that Super Bowl, they shut down Cam Newton as well, too. And that's the best season Cam Newton's ever had, because outside of that, what has Cam Newton ever done in the NFL? The Broncos defense was just as dominant as their offense was. So if I'm going to pick a one-game situation where I got to stop Kurt Warner and stop Marshall Faulk, give me the best pass rusher in the NFL that year, and he does wear glasses just like myself, I'm taking Von Miller in that defense. So let me get the 2015 Broncos.
All right, Alan. You're up next. Let's go now.
Boy, oh boy. I am stumped because I don't remember the year for the Steelers defense. Man, this is not good. I can't. I do know to stop that offense, you needed some corners. Oh, this is bad. I cannot think of the year of that defense. I'm stumped. This is my brain freeze moment. I can't think of the year, right? Cannot.
Sorry, you got 45 seconds.
Oh boy. I guess I'm just gonna have to concede.
Okay.
I can't. I'm at a loss right now.
All right. So that concludes the second round, and this is the third round. Alan, you up first. So there's a chance to redeem yourself. Last question. Third round. Name an NBA coach who would be the most successful in a Game 7 playoff, not named Phil Jackson, Pat Riley, or Greg Popovich since 1990. I'm going to ask that question one more time. Name an NBA coach who would be the most successful in a Game 7 playoff game, not named Phil Jackson, Pat Riley, or Greg Popovich since 1990. Alan, you have 30 seconds.
I'm ready.
Wow, okay. All right, let's go now.
For me, no question in my mind that it's going to be Rudy Tomjanovich. This guy was very underrated as a Houston Rockets head coach. Obviously, he led Houston to a championship in 1994. But one of the things that I think made him really good was the fact that he never tried to put square pegs in the round holes. He looked at his team He took the temperature of his team at the moment, and he said, these are the guys that I'm going to go with that's going to win me the game. Case in point, Sam Cassell, a rookie that not a lot of people knew about. This was the guy he put in Game 7 to help them win that championship. All right, obviously he had Akeem Olajuwon. He had some horses, but he went with a rookie to help them win that championship. And that's coaching. That's coaching to me, not saying this is what I'm going with all year. These are the guys I'm going to go with. He's going to take the pulse of his team at the moment, and he's going to take his chances with all the guys that helped him get to that point. So I'm going to go with my man, Rudy Tom Jonathan.
All right. Danny, you up next. Let's go now.
Throughout his entire career, this coach has won everywhere he's gone. But the funny thing about the coach I'm choosing is the fact that he's known more for a rant than what he did on the court. And I'm taking Larry Brown, actually, of the Sixers. In the years he had in Detroit and also in the years in Philadelphia. When you talk about versatile coaching in a situation Game 7, who knows how to coach better than Larry Brown in this situation? Larry Brown coached a team that was built around a superstar and a bunch of nobodies and got them to the finals, where they lost to what? A team that he defeated 4 years later with a totally different style of team. Larry has coached all different style of players, and if I had a chance to have a coach that's going to coach me in a Game 7, other than the coaches that were given, give me a guy that has won a championship and has gone to the finals with all different styles, which means he's very versatile. That Pistons team didn't have a first ballot Hall of Famer, didn't have a major Hall of Famer. He carried a team with 4 All-Stars, but he did it the team way, did it with defense, did it with grit and grime and hustle guys. The same way he did in Philadelphia, built around a superstar. He spent his first couple years in the Clippers, dealing with the Clippers, and we saw how that turned out. But Larry Brown's won pretty much everywhere he's gone, whether it be college or pros. So if I'm choosing anybody in a Game 7 situation, give me a guy who's versatile enough to coach anybody I get. So like Anthony Davis, he can coach Anthony Davis. If I had Michael Jordan, I'm pretty sure he can coach Michael Jordan. If I even had Dikembe Mutombo, he's done that before. He can coach Dikembe Mutombo. So one game situation, because of the fact of versatility and style of coaching, give me Larry Brown because he could adapt to almost any style because he's been in the game long enough to do it. So I'm taking Larry Brown.
All right. I need your votes. If you're listening, I need your votes. DM me, text me, message me, however you want. Call me, whatever. If you're listening with Miss Nashina, let her know who you thought won. All right, we're going to meet the contestants. First, Alan Fields. Appreciate you for coming on, sir. Please let everyone know where they can find you and follow you.
Hey, the 3-point conversion.
All right.
That's where I'm at. That's where to find me.
No doubt. We just won't have them talk about football. I'm just playing, man. I'm just messing with you, Alan. I'm just messing with you, dog. All right, and then we have Danny Thompson. What up, Danny? The man.
What up, bro? Nah, that's no. You missed the NCAA tournament over there.
Whatever.
Enjoy the Loyola Kansas State game tomorrow. But you can catch me at AroundTheAssociation.com. Check out the podcast Around the Association and my daily work with the Magic over at FloridaNationalNews.com.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back.
Yo, what's up? This your boy Marcus Banks to the Big 3 of the Ghost Baller. You listening to the Sports Lounge with my main man, Mr. Controversy.
Hey family, it's Dorian Paul Williams, formerly of Uncle Charlie and the Gap Band. Now listen, my foundation, the Fathers Who Will Foundation, is inviting you to join the movement to motivate C-average high school seniors and college students right here in Atlanta to continue their education and skill training. Your support will help to provide valuable resources so these worthy students can build a bright future. To make a contribution or find out if your child qualifies, visit cscholarshiptour.com or call 888-900-8958.
Tune your radio.
Tune in.
Now. You can tune in to this radio station on any smartphone or tablet. iPhone, Android, BlackBerry, Nokia, Samsung, Windows phones, or whatever you have. Download the free TuneIn app from your phone or tablet's app store. Tune in with music, sports, news, and comedy from over 70,000 radio stations around the world, including this Beasley Broadcast Group station. Check it out at TuneIn.com or your app store.
Sit back with me, the baseball antagonist. Pull up your favorite chair, grab a drink, and listen as Mr. Controversy helps us relax with his sports knowledge in the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge, right here on the 3-Point Conversion Station.
Yes, yes. Mr. Controversy, my man G, special guest Nashina Davis, inside the 3-Point Conversion.
I'm going to need you to start saying Sheena Quick. I'm going back to the maiden name.
Okay, Sheena Quick.
There we go.
And you know what? The funny thing was, I was going to say this, but I'm like, nah, I don't know if she'd take it right. When I first introduced her, like, she had like 500 last names, so she done gave me about 3 of them. So, but Sheena Quick, that's what it is.
There we go.
Quick out the box. Okay.
Yeah, quick out the box.
You done gave me like 5 last names. So, but anyway, we're back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge, and we're here. We're about to talk some NBA, man. Look, Sheena, G, what LeBron is doing, you know, in his 15th year is spectacular. I mean, it's great. He's getting a lot of notoriety for it, you know, or a lot of praise for it, I should say. Do you think that this is the best, or is this historic as far as what we're seeing?
I think it's definitely historic, and I think he has vibranium stored somewhere because he never seems to really age. He seems to get better as his career goes on, and 15 years, you know, you expect some type of decline, but he just keeps accelerating. So I think it's definitely historical what we're witnessing today.
Yeah, and you can call in at 404-603-8770, 404-603-8770. Now, it is, and like, you know, to see him, the fact that he had a game against Toronto where he had, 37 points and 17 assists with no turnovers, that's ridiculous.
Right.
But to me, I'm not going to lie, I kind of expect this. Like, when you're great, let's think about it. When you're great, the older you get, for some reason, the game slows down for you. But for greats, it really slows down. Let's look at Charles Barkley. He was still considered great until, I think by the time he went to Houston in '97, he was 35. But at 33 in Phoenix, he was still considered a great player.
Right.
Hakeem
Not
Olajuwon.
LeBron great though.
Not, true, but no, you're right. But Hakeem Olajuwon, he came in the league in '84, and he won the MVP in '94, his 10th year. And he didn't slow down until maybe 97, 98. I think 98 is when he slowed down. Michael Jordan came back. He took 2 years off, but at the age of 33, he won the MVP, and he averaged 31 points a game. So you see this with great players. I mean, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, we don't even want to go with what he did, but yet still, it's still a great feat for LeBron, or a great,
right.
You know, it looks good. You know what I'm saying? He's 15, he's not slowing down. But, you know, I got to bring this up. G, I want you to come in on this as well. Do you think it's because the NBA is garbage right now? Like, as far as some of the players? Is it, or you know what? I'll take that back. No, I won't. Some of the players are garbage, but because of the type of style it is. It's wide open. You can't touch anyone. You can't hurt anyone.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's garbage, but it's definitely a lot less physical than it was, like, let's say in the 90s where we had, like, the Tim Hardaways, the gritty point guards, the Gary Paytons and things like that. You see a lot more emphasis on the three-point shot and things like that. Hand checks are being called, like, left and right.
Right. No, I hear you. I agree.
I think part of that, like the style of play plays into it, to where I think if LeBron played in an earlier era, I think his style of play would be different. But with him being basically a forward, he's the size of Karl Malone, but he has like point guard skills, and his style of play kind of it just helps him. And the way that the team is built around him, what's the best way to help LeBron? Give him shooters, because that spreads the floor. And he can get to the basket whenever he wants. And you can't really touch him, and you can play zone and everything. But if he's spreading out the defense, that just gives him room to operate, and that's what makes him so efficient.
So it's still great to see him do this, but by you saying that, do you think it's the best right now at 33? Can we say this is the best?
I think the way he's gotten used to how the team is built around him now. Like, he knows exactly what he needs to be successful. I think his most efficient years were in Miami. That was his best.
Right.
And now it's a different kind of best. If you're looking at his overall best, I would say Miami, but it's a different kind of best now, and it's mostly just on offense. He's not the defensive player that he was, to where you can just put him on the other team's point guard if that point guard's been scoring. There's not that putting LeBron on 2011 Derrick Rose anymore.
Mm-hmm.
But offensively, he's averaging a career high in assists and rebounds. So he's filling up the stat sheet, but I don't think it's his best all around that he's ever been.
I would agree with the comment about him being most efficient in Miami. I think in Cleveland, I mean, you just saw a complete overhaul of their roster. He got rid of pretty much everybody. He pretty much got rid of the coach too. I mean, because he's out with this mysterious ailment.
It's the LeBron flu.
Right. It is the LeBron flu. He's like, you know what? Let me just take a couple games off and cool off, because I think that in one of Tyronn Lue's last games is when you saw LeBron kind of giving it to him on the sideline there. We ain't seen him since, so we know LeBron will get you out of there if you're not falling in line. And I think that, like you said, he's able to build the team around himself and what he wants. He has a lot more power when it comes to front office decisions than I'm not going to say than I know a lot of other NBA players. So that might add to his prowess as well. He's able to basically get the people on the court that he wants on the court with him. Right. It's not out of his hands.
But I think that because he's wide open, I think that you can take advantage of that. And then the type of play that they shoot 500 threes. So the game, you're not slowing down the game. The game is not slowed down. You're not playing that 90s Pistons team, or that 97 Miami Heat team where the game is slowed down, like people, or the Knicks, they're taking their time, passing around, the game is flowing. No, we go down. Sometimes the ball is not passed. You just shoot a three. Whether you open or not, you're shooting look at the Rockets. I mean, that's just what it is. So I think that's part of why Harden is able to make or get so many assists, because of the type of style they're playing. It's so wide open, and you get so many possessions this way versus 10 or 15 years ago, you didn't get that many possessions. So you didn't have that many. You didn't have that much opportunity to get assists. So I think that's why we can say that, it looks good on everybody, but still he's balling. I mean, I think now it's the first time I've actually said that LeBron he knows the game. Like, everybody talked about his IQ, and I've said it so many times. To me, I don't think your IQ is that high when you're in a post and you're pump faking, when you have a 6'2" guard on you, and what are you pump faking for? Like, that's not a high IQ. But I think now he's getting it, he's taking advantage. I'm with him. So, like I said, he's making Cleveland dangerous, dangerous again, and I think that they still probably end up getting to the finals. But in saying that, I'm going to name some teams. I want y'all to say who is real or who's counterfeit. And I look at a few teams right now that are looking pretty good, but I want to know if they're counterfeit or they're real. So I'm going to start off with the Toronto Raptors. And I'm going to go with you, Sheena, first. Do you think they're real or are they counterfeit?
I think they're real. I think they're a legitimate threat in the East, especially with Cleveland not playing their best ball. And, I mean, they just haven't been able to get in sync all season. So I think that this Raptors team that we're seeing, I think it's real.
G?
They're real until Kyle Lowry doesn't show up.
Right. Exactly. And that's why they're counterfeit to me.
Because there's so much on one player?
Yeah, they're counterfeit. I mean, they're playing great. We hadn't seen them play this great. But they've been 1 or 2 seed. And like you said, Kyle Lowry, he disappears. I think he thinks his vacation starts. He's so used to being on bad teams, whatever. He's so used to going on vacation early, and he checks out. But even if they can't beat the Cleveland Cavaliers, like they just can't. Even the last game we just alluded to, they were up, and then next thing you know, Cleveland comes back and beat them. They can't beat Cleveland, so I think they're counterfeit. Now, what about the Portland Trailblazers? They're number 3 right now. Are they counterfeit or real?
I'm going with counterfeit.
Why you say that?
I mean, they just don't show up in the playoffs. They don't. When they make it there, they don't show up.
And I know a good reason, too. Go ahead, G.
I agree. They're counterfeit. Lillard and McCollum are a great backcourt, but they really don't have that much else. Like sometimes Aminu will score 20. Sometimes Mo Harkless will score 20, or, if he's trying to get a contract incentive, he'll stop shooting altogether.
Yeah.
And the thing is, they need help. Like you said, I mean, McCollum, Dame Dollar, they're great. But looking at both of them, they can't carry a team. Right now, we're in that era where, unless you're LeBron James, you can't carry.
I think they can carry a team, just not that team. Like there's just not enough firepower on their team.
Well, right. And what I'm saying is they can't, if you don't have firepower like that. Like back in the day, you could, if you had 2 players and the rest of the team was garbage, you could carry, you know what I'm saying? You can go to the final or go deep in the playoffs. John Stockton and Karl Malone. Some of those Utah teams were horrible. I'm not horrible, but they didn't have any good players. A few times, I didn't think they were good, but they got deep in the playoffs each time because you had 2 players. But in this day and era, you can't do that because of the superstar team. And so I agree. I think they're counterfeit as well. Now, what about the Houston Rockets?
I think the Houston Rockets are real. But again, you have this so much centered around this one player, and James Harden, he does disappear in playoff games. I mean, that's kind of just been his kind of mark. But I want to go with they're real if James Harden is James Harden. I know that's kind of I kind of cheated with that, but I think they're real unless James Harden just disappears. I mean, he's not under the little Lil B bass guy curse anymore, is he?
No.
Okay, so he should be good this year. They should be straight.
I think they're real if D'Antoni trusts his players.
Mm-hmm.
He is notorious for having a very short rotation, and in the playoffs, you might need to expand that a little bit. I mean, he might shorten it even more. Like he's known for going 8 deep. He might shorten it to 6, and you wonder if his players are going to run out of gas, and considering the pace they play at.
So I'll say this because we got to end this segment, but they're counterfeit. For both of you all said for you to say that they're counterfeit, they won't be real until they get to the finals. We never see them get to the finals. Like you have, and I love Chris Paul, and I hate to say this because that's my dog, but you have 2 players that when it comes to playoff time and crunch time, lately they haven't been clutch. They haven't stepped up. So we're going to see. And then let's just see if Chris Paul stays healthy. I mean, but until then, counterfeit. So look, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to be back talking NFL.
For almost 10 years, I've been a lineman for the power company. I know that service is important. That's why I also serve in the Coast Guard Reserve. Our crews respond to rising floodwaters in the Midwest, oil spills in the Gulf of Mexico, and disasters like the Haiti earthquake. The Coast Guard Reserve is a challenge I gladly take on because my country needs me.
If you were born ready, learn more at GoCoastGuard.com.
Sponsored by the United States Coast Guard in cooperation with the Georgia Association of Broadcasters and this station.
What's up? This is Justin Gibbons, defensive back, Montreal Alouettes, and I'm just kicking back listening to that three-point conversion radio with my boy, Mr. Controversy.
Yes, we are back inside the three-point conversion sports lounge. Shout out to Kerry Wood, the three-point conversion inside of LA Broaders. Michael Faber's going in on me talking about Utah, saying, did he just dog Stockton and Malone? Yeah, I did. I ain't dogged them. I just said a few of those teams that they were on, the others were garbage. It's a fact. Look it up. You prove me wrong. Garbage. But anyway, so we have to talk football, NFL, and of course free agency is still going on. It's like it never ends, and it's a lot to talk about. But honestly, what I want to do is I really want to talk about, the Cleveland Browns. They have this chance they have number one pick and number 4, and everybody's saying they're going quarterback. Mostly they're saying they're going quarterback because they need a quarterback. Then they're saying you hear others saying that they don't want to go quarterback, or they go quarterback because they don't want to go running back because you don't pick a running back in the first round.
That's not going to happen this year. There's definitely a running back going to go in the first round.
So, I mean, not first round, I'm sorry. First pick. First pick,
oh,
I
okay.
apologize. The first pick. And, a lot of people say that, which what I want to talk about today, I don't agree with that. I don't like going against or going with the, with the standard and this is what we don't do, so we don't do it. I think that's a bunch of bull.
Well, the thing is, like, when you have the first pick, you want to get someone who can contribute right away and could potentially be the face of your franchise in some way. So there's only a certain number of certain positions that you can do that for. Number one, there's quarterback. You can go defensive end. You can go left tackle. Anyone else, it's going to be a controversial pick.
But why? Okay, I'm not saying go receiver number one pick, no. But why when you go running back if the running back is worth it? Now, have we seen a running back that's warranted being the number one pick in the last 10 years? Probably not. I think if Gurley wouldn't have got hurt and gotten hurt in his last game at Georgia when he came back from suspension, I think he would have been number one. But still, why? I mean, you said you want somebody that could produce automatically, right? I mean, from the jump. Marshall Faulk did it. You want somebody the face of your franchise. Marshall Faulk basically was, and they made Kurt Warner to be it, but he was basically the face of your franchise.
Well, you also have to consider someone like someone that's going to be there that you want to be there long term. With running backs are famously getting paid less and less and less. Like the last running back that went number one is Keyshawn Carter. The last receiver that went number one was Keyshawn Johnson, I think. But those guys did not end up being franchise cornerstones.
Mm-hmm.
So with the number one pick, it's got to be someone who's going to be the face of your franchise long term, and you build a team around that player.
So hold on, I got something for that. Ryan Leaf, all of the Browns quarterbacks, but
quarterbacks will always get a chance.
But that's my point.
And they will always get a chance.
Yeah, they do.
And the freak of nature, freaky, athletic defensive ends will always get a chance.
And they always fail. Always. Well, name a number one defensive end who bought out. Name two that was number one and number two, and we say, man, I'm glad they stay in the league because they're the best in the league. You can't name them. There's not that many.
I go with Mario Williams from NC State. He made an impact. He definitely made an impact going number one.
Can I get a stop it?
Button? No, don't you do. No, that's not a stop it. That is not a stop it. Don't you do it. Don't you do it.
Because Mario Williams, anytime you get traded, you're not. No, you can't.
Well, he had a decent career.
If you
until they changed the defense, he's a
4-3.
Thank you.
But listen what he said.
3-4 linebacker.
We said number two, number one. He said he had a decent. No, number one and number two though. You're not supposed to be decent.
Houston don't know what they're doing out there, man.
Right, that wasn't his fault.
Okay, so look. All right, so let me ask you all a question then. So top 5 pick. Top 5 now, not just number one. Do you go best player available or what you need?
If I have a top 5 pick?
Yeah, if 2, 3, 4, 5.
It depends on it really depends on the team. It really depends on the team.
I mean, but that's what I'm saying. So if you're the Cleveland Browns, the Bears, the Cardinals, whoever.
If I'm the Browns this year with picks 1 and 4, I'm taking Barkley number 1. I would take a running back number 1.
Yeah.
But I'll take Barkley number 1 and then a quarterback
number 4.
At number 4. If the quarterback that I really want isn't there, then I consider taking an offensive lineman.
Okay, so let's say if you only have one pick, you want top pick?
And you're the Browns?
Browns, whoever. You going top pick or what you need? Because if you're in the top 5, evidently you didn't do well that year before.
Right. That's a tough one. Best player available.
Why?
Because you can build your team around that particular player, in my opinion.
Right.
That didn't work out for the Browns, of course, because they're the Browns. I think they need a whole new city. I think the whole franchise needs to move. I mean, I might be by myself in that, but the whole franchise needs to move. Right. They need to move the franchise. But other than that, they took the best player available last year, Myles Garrett, and instant injury.
Right.
So I do think you take the best player available. I mean, it really depends on the team, though. But particularly for the Browns, I think you take.
And I actually, why I'm not saying I disagree. It's a good question because I know my team, Chicago Bears, a few years back, we took the best player available. We needed that player, but we needed, I think, something a cornerback and something else. But we chose Kevin White, and Kevin White has been doing what I've been doing. So
has he played a game?
He's been doing what I've been doing. I've been watching the games with him. And you didn't know that? So, I mean.
And you're a Bears fan? Y'all got finesse last year during the draft.
Okay. So she's okay. But
y'all did.
As long as we beat the Panthers. But look, so all I'm saying is.
Beat the Panthers at that point.
but for real, I mean, it depends, like you said, because it's tempting to get that player that you want versus what you need. And the reason why I asked that, I'm going to bring it back to the Cleveland Browns. They need to get Saquon. He's the best player available. And the funny thing is, with them going with the quarterback, and I know everybody is talking about in America about getting Tyrod, but my thing is, if you have Tyrod Taylor, why do you feel the need to go after a quarterback when you can get the best player available?
Yeah, I agree with that.
There's also the belief that they could take the quarterback that they want at number 1, and Barkley would still be there at number 4.
Stop it! No,
I don't see him falling past number 2.
But you know what?
I don't either.
Well, everybody seems to think now that the Giants are going to take a defensive end since they got rid of JPP. And if they do that, they deserve a stop it. Like, why? Especially when the running back has been your thorn besides the offensive line. And you kind of bulked up with the offensive line, by picking up that guy from the guy from New England. So why not go running back? But if he's there with number 4, because who's number 3? The Jets?
The Jets at number 3.
And they're talking about getting a quarterback.
Even though they just re-signed McCown and then they signed Bridgewater, they're still going to draft a quarterback.
Well, I'll say this. If I was reading a comment, they said, Elliot Broder said she needs to get a stopper for that. Get off my team.
Which one?
You know when they request, you got to give it to him for what you said about the Browns. He was stop it. Right.
He gets a stop it for being a Browns fan.
Give him a stop it for
He gets a stop it for being a Browns fan.
Right. But all I'm saying is, if the Cleveland Browns end up with Saquon at number 4,
that's a steal.
I'm going to give myself 5 stoppage. Mark it down. I'm giving myself 5 stoppage if the Browns get Saquon at number 4, because I don't think he's going to fall to them.
I don't think he's going to fall to 4.
But if that happens, I'll give myself 5 stops. I'll give myself a stop at every segment. As a matter of fact, we'll do it like that. But again, so you say go with the best player. G, what you say? Go with the best player or?
Go with the best player available. Yeah. If it's someone who can contribute right away.
I say go with what you need. It's because usually if you go with what you need, you're getting the top at that position. And probably the best at that position. If it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Well, what if
the Browns
it's a weak
need a lot
draft?
of things.
Yeah, I told you the Browns need a whole new city.
I mean, with them, right? You're right. I get that. But I'm saying like the Giants or anybody, you have to go with what you need. Now if you need a tackle and a running back, then you can choose between. I get that, but sometimes the best player might not be exact. They might not exactly fit your team. That's what I'm saying. I don't think Kevin White, he didn't fit our team, what we need, because we weren't that type of team. But I wanted him then. I'm not gonna lie,
and that's what makes this upcoming draft so intriguing with who's going to go at number 1. Any other year, we're like Saquon Barkley,
right?
No question,
right?
But I mean, it's the Browns, and the Browns are going brown.
Yep. So
they're going brown. So
there you have it. We're gonna take a quick break, and we will be right back.
I'll never forget
that moment.
As long as I live. My first call-up ever as a member of the National Guard.
When we got to the armory, they briefed us on the wildfires. They were getting dangerously close to homes.
Helicopters were going out to drop water on the fires. Guys in the unit were preparing for firefighting with local fire crews.
At that moment, I got my first taste of just how important the Guard is to my community.
See how the Guard can be an important part of your life at NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Georgia National Guard. Aired by the Georgia Association of Broadcasters and this station.
What's up? This is Anthony Hamilton, and you're listening to the 3-Point Conversion.
Yes, you all know what that means. That means it is time to leave you. But before you go, I have to give some shout outs and some thank yous. And first off, I want to give a big shout out to the Almighty God for giving me this platform to say what I say, for you all to listen, to make you happy, upset, want to give me the stop it button. I appreciate that. I mean, man, I can't ask for anything better than this right now. Then I also want to thank my engineer, G. Appreciate you, G, for another outstanding show. And then I have to thank my special guest and Deshaun Tate. We appreciate you, Deshaun, for coming on. Also, Alan Fields and Danny Thompson, thank you for coming on. Make sure y'all vote. Let us know. Then I have to thank, I guess, my co-host for the day, Miss Nashina Quick.
There you go.
Quick out the box. Or any of the above.
It's not Davis anymore. Quick going forward.
You got it? Anybody you want to shout out?
Shout out everybody on my Facebook Live that's been tuned in for this past 2-hour show. I appreciate you guys a lot. Thank you for your support. Thank you guys for having me on.
No problem. Why you say 2-hour show why you say it like that?
My show's an hour, but I'm just
Damn,
saying. But they rock with me for the whole show.
I appreciate
they stayed
that.
around the whole
True.
time. So definitely a lot of love.
Appreciate that. You just said it like this 2-hour show, like it's long.
It's
like,
a long
come
time
on.
to sit and look at your phone.
Okay. You're right. I agree.
You know,
and I want to thank everybody else who listened. I want to thank my family, my lovely wife, the children, everybody who supported. LA Broaders, Mike Faber, who else? Alan. I already said Alan Fields. He was on Battlegrounds. Kerry Wood, Johnny Lawrence. Appreciate all you all. And make sure you pay attention to sports this weekend. Some great stuff. NCAA tournament.
Tonight.
NBA. NFL free agency. NHL hockey. Don't give it a stop it button for that. MLB's about to start up. Appreciate you all. Until next week, same time, same show, same crazy host, same nonsense in sports. Will you miss me? I'm out. Peace. You just got done listening to the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. Be sure to follow us on our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook accounts at the 3-Point Conversion. And also make sure you check out our website, the3pointconversion.com. Be sure to follow us live and listen every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern.